If you've been trying to figure out how in the world to work with vendors successfully, then this video is for you. I'll also be sharing my favorite vendors to work with, so stay tuned. Hustle babes, I'm Chanel the Brand Hustler, and this is a channel for all of my hustle babes who are interested in gaining insight on the entrepreneurial journey while learning essential marketing and business tips for their brand. If that sounds like you, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and join the Hustle Babe community. Today's video is all about how to work with vendors, and I'm even going to be sharing with you my top go-to vendors that I love to work with. But before we get into that video, I got to say that we hit 10,000 subscribers. That is 10,000 hustle babes within the community, so let's clap it up for ourselves. Thank you guys so much for supporting this channel. I hope that this channel has been super helpful for you in your business and with growing your brand. And of course, I got to celebrate 10K with a giveaway. So I will actually be giving away, drum roll please, a Dymo 4XL printer. And if you've watched my business essentials video, you would know what that printer is. Or if you've been in business for a little while with products, you probably know what that printer is as well. If you happen to not know, let me tell you what it is. A Dymo printer is a printer that operates solely off of heat. You do not need ink whatsoever. Talk about saving serious cash money. Okay, do you know how much ink costs every single month for the entire year to keep up with? So having a Dymo printer that doesn't operate off of ink is super efficient. Not only that, but the Dymo 4XL has the ability to print out the size of an entire label sheet. So your Dymo printer can print out labels about this size, okay? And it can print out labels that are smaller than this as well. So let's say you wanted to print out a small label to label your shoe boxes with like the barcode and the shoe size. You can do that. Let's say you wanted to print out a barcode to put on your clothing tags. You can do that. Or if you wanted to print out shipping labels to ship these products to your actual customer, you can print out full shipping labels like this and just paste it on your box or your poly mailer and send out. Dymos usually go for about $300, and you're going to get the ability to enter a giveaway to get it completely for free. So here is how you can enter the giveaway. First, of course, you have to be subscribed to this channel. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, go ahead and get a head start right now and hit the subscribe button. You also need to be following me at The Brand Hustler on Instagram. And if you want a bonus entry, you can follow my personal Instagram, which is at IamChanelQ. You also need to make sure that you comment on one of my videos and then share your favorite video from this channel, okay? All of these count as entries for you within the giveaway. The more entries you have, the more chances you have to win. But the one mandatory rule that you have to follow is you have to be subscribed to this channel in combination with actually following my business page on Instagram. To enter the giveaway, all you have to do is open up the description box and click the link that says enter the giveaway. That website is going to track all of the entries for me so that I don't have to do any manual labor myself. I am all about automating the process. So make sure you click the link in the description box and enter the details. It's going to ask you for like your first name and your email, and then it's going to tell you all the ways that you can enter the giveaway, which I just explained to you. Follow those directions, and then all of your entries will be recorded, and I will be picking a winner shortly after that. So now let's get into the video. As you can see by the title, and as I already said, today we're talking all about how to work with vendors. And when it is time to work with vendors, I feel like it's important for you to know three main things. So what I'm going to be talking about today is the important terms that you need to know in order to work with vendors. I am also going to be sharing my top tips when it comes to working with vendors. And then I am going to be giving you an extra free bonus by sharing my top vendor sites that I love to work with. So let's get to it. The first thing that I want to share with you today are the vendor terms that you need to know in order to work with any vendor, okay? And so I selected a couple that I feel like are the main terms that you may come across that you may not know what it is, but to vendors, that is their bread and butter. So the first term that you need to know is back order. So what back order is, it is when you order something from a vendor, but they don't necessarily have it made yet. In retailer terms or in online boutique terms, that may be a pre-sale, right? So you ever notice how some boutiques may put up a pre-sale offer and they're like, oh, well, you can order it now, but it'll be fulfilled in October or something like that, right? That is kind of the same concept for back order. With vendors, they call it back orders because they actually create and supply the product. So what it is, it's you placing your order now and they placing it on the back end of their site or their facility in order to fulfill once they've actually made that product. This is an important term for you to know because I don't want y'all out here looking crazy, okay? I don't want you out here ordering things from your vendor and expecting for it to come a certain date and it doesn't, all right? So when you see back order across any vendor site, it's important for you to look for the date it says that that product will be created and fulfilled. If it does not have a date listed, it is important for you to reach out to the vendor and say, hey, I really want this particular product. I see that it's on back order. When do you think this item would actually be fulfilled? That way you have a realistic date that you can then share with your customers, or that you could just know internally so that you know when exactly you can expect that particular product, okay? So like I said, the first term is back order. The second term that you must know is MOQ. MOQ stands for minimum order quantity. This is the amount that the vendor has set as a threshold for them. They basically do not want to go below that amount in order for you to place an order, okay? So if they have an MOQ of 50, it means that you need to order 50 of that item in order for them to fulfill your wholesale order. They will not allow you to order 20 or 10 of that item. You must order 50. The reason why MOQs exist is because vendors incur certain costs, labor costs, machinery, all of that they have to pay for in order to create the very product that you are trying to buy. And so they create MOQs because MOQs give them a way of gaining a profit. If they set their MOQs too low, then they may end up breaking even or losing money, which isn't good. If you have absolutely no idea what breaking even or losing money is, I shared that information in my most recent video where I talked all about ROI. Okay, so a vendor basically knows how much it takes for them to make a particular product and how much it will take for them to make a particular profit. So based on that, they create their MOQs. So on your end, an MOQ means that if you see MOQ 50, you cannot order below 50 with that vendor. Later on, I will be sharing one of my tips to actually kind of saucing the vendor up a little bit and getting below that minimum order quantity, but you got to stay tuned and watch the entire video. The third term is line sheet. A line sheet is pretty much like a catalog of the vendor's products, but with no visual representation at all. It is basically text outlining what they have to offer, the price of that product, and if they order bulk ordering in cases, they'll have the price for the cases as well as the bulk order amount. Pretty much it's as easy as that, as simple as that. So when you reach out to a vendor and you are asking them to see what they have to offer, the products they create or anything like that, what you want to ask them for is a line sheet. A line sheet is just an easy way for you to see holistically what they have to offer, kind of like a table of contents in a way, but with prices. And then from there you can say, okay, well, I'm interested in product A, product C, product E. Can I see pictures of those? Can I see what colors you have of those? And you can ask them that based off of the items that you see on the line sheet. The fourth term that I want to share with you guys that I feel like is important to know is what's called net payment terms. Net payment is kind of like getting a credit card or like a credit line from your vendor. So some vendors, you'll notice that they say we offer a net payment. What that means is they are willing to let you order a certain amount of product and wait for you to get sales on that product to pay them back. Okay, and so it's basically a line of credit. There are different types of net payment terms. You have net 30, net 60, and net 90. What the number stands for is the number of days you have until you have to pay for the product back, okay? So net 30 means that once they fulfill the order, you have 30 days to then pay for the products. Net 60 means you have 60 days to pay for the products after they fulfilled it. And then net 90 means that 90 days after they fulfill the product, that's when you have to pay it back, okay? So net 30, net 60, and net 90 basically stand for the amount of time you're allotted to basically have product for free until you have to pay for it back. The last term that I want to share with you is what is called private labeling. I actually talked about this in one of my previous videos where I shared with you guys skincare and cosmetic vendors. What private labeling is, it is allowing the vendor to create a product, package a product, and label a product completely under your brand's name and your branding. Some companies do that because they don't have a facility where they have staff to put things in bottles and label them and ship them out. And so because of that, they will pay a little bit extra to allow the vendor to just make it, package it, label it, and send it to them completely done, ready to go straight to the customer. So that is what private labeling means. So if you own a skincare business or a hair care business, something like that where you are dealing with formulas and things like that, private labeling is something that you may want to do if you don't necessarily have the staff to actually bottle and label your products right now, to save you some of that time of doing every single thing yourself. Now that you know some of the important terms when it comes to working with vendors, let's talk about my tips for actually working with vendors. My first tip is to know what you want. All right, so sometimes we can get a little bit ahead of ourselves and we go in starting this vendor conversation like, oh, what do y'all have to offer? Or what exactly do you have for me? Know that when you're working with vendors, especially vendors that I've shared in my previous videos or vendors overseas, they create hundreds to thousands of products. So if you go in saying, okay, well, show me all of what you have of all of these socks, they're gonna send you thousands of socks that you have to sit and comb through instead of you being specific about what you want, right? And so a good example of this is headbands, right? A lot of those headbands are in style right now. If you are going to a vendor and you want a particular size headband, if you want the headband to have rhinestones, if you already know certain colors you're thinking about, go in and tell the vendor that. So tell them, hey, I'm looking at rhinestone headbands that are about 2 inches thick with no comb on the side. Do you have any of these? Can you show me those options? Then the vendor is able to show you specifically those options, and then they may even suggest something that is similar to that they think you may be interested in, but that only comes when you are actually being specific about what you want. Okay, you save a lot of time and a lot of money by knowing what you want, because if you don't know what you want, you end up being confused and overwhelmed and not buying anything, or you end up falling in love with all of this stuff all at once and then overbuying right now, when in reality you need to kind of time all the things that you buy and time how you release them to your customers. So to prevent overbuying and to prevent not buying at all, go in knowing exactly what you want so that they can tell you exactly what they have and how they can meet your requirements if they don't have that particular product that you're looking for. The second tip I have is to know that you are in control of the convo and to take control of the convo. And when I say this, I don't mean to be a B word or to act like a know-it-all. I basically mean that you need to kind of be well versed on what exactly it is you're selling and how the process of working with a vendor works, and go in there with that confidence that you know what you're talking about. Because if you don't, vendors can sense when you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, when you're a new business who has no insight. they can sense all of that. And so if they can sense that, then they're going to try to sauce you. And by sauce you, I mean they're going to try to hit you over the head with prices or with ridiculous measures that you can't necessarily fulfill, okay? So you want to make sure that you kind of brush up on all this stuff before you ever talk to a vendor. Know exactly what you're looking for. You want to know the certain vendor terms like I shared with you earlier in this video. You want to research certain things. So one of the things that I love to research is actually shipping. The reason why is this is where a lot of vendors will try to hit you over the head. So you'll come to them and you'll see that something costs maybe $1.50 per item and they have an MOQ of 50, and you're like, oh, okay, well $1.50 times 50 isn't that much, it's still within my budget. But then they'll hit you with maybe $350 worth of shipping. In order for you to combat that, you need to know what you're talking about. So either you need to pull up the fact that you've worked with previous vendors and it's been nowhere near that amount, or what I like to do is I like to go to these shipping sites. So I go to DHL, I go to FedEx, I go to UPS, I go to whatever shipping system they may be using, and I type in their factory's address, because you can find the factory's address on their actual page. Like on Alibaba, it's in their description way at the bottom. I type in the factory address, I type in the weight, which is also found in the description box of the particular product, and then if I'm buying 50 of that product, obviously I have to multiply the weight times 50. I put in whatever weight that is, I put in the address that I am shipping the product to, so clearly your home address or your warehouse address, and I have DHL, FedEx, or whatever calculate it for me, and I screenshot that. Then I go to the vendor and I say, hey, I see that your shipping cost is like 3 times as much as the amount that I'm getting when I estimate it. Why is that? The vendor will then explain their reasoning behind that outrageous price, or they'll adjust the price, apologize for it, and keep it moving. And so that is just one of the ways that they may try to sauce you, and that's why it's important to know what you're talking about and take control of that conversation. Don't just be a yes man sitting back and saying, okay, yeah. Know exactly what you want and take control of that conversation. Also know your budget. So if something is outside of your budget, if they hit you with $200 shipping and that is pushing you $50 over, say, hey, is there a way that we can make this a little bit cheaper, because that is outside of my budget. I really want these products, but I can't afford to go over my budget. And the vendor may say, oh, okay, well, instead of shipping FedEx Express for you to get it in 2 days, we can ship regular FedEx and you'll get it within a week, but it significantly reduces the price. You see what I'm saying? So know exactly what you want and take control of the conversation. My third vendor tip is to build a relationship. So earlier in this video, I mentioned MOQ, minimum order quantity, and I mentioned that sometimes there is a way that you can sauce up vendors to get that minimum order quantity down for you so that you can order the product through that vendor. And this is how you do it. You do it by building a relationship. So what I mean is, when you first reach out to a vendor, you need to have a professional conversation. You also need to let them know what your intentions are. If you plan on working with them in the long run, come to them and say, hey, I own this type of business. I'm based in the United States or wherever you're based at. I ship worldwide or wherever you ship to, and I intend on ordering from you twice a month or once a month. I am very interested in having your factory supply these products for me long term. Coming in and telling them that will open up their minds and open up their hearts to actually consider lowering the MOQ for you, because now what they see is they see somebody who is willing to stick with them long term, who will give them long-term business and probably even refer them to other people, versus you coming and they think that you're just a one-time buyer. They are more likely to give you a deal if they know you'll continuously work with them, okay? And that you're continuously growing. So if you want me to do a video on how exactly to talk to vendors, you can leave that in the comment box down below, letting me know what kind of vendor video you want me to do next. And if you want me to talk specifically about how to have conversations with vendors, that is something that I can definitely do for you guys, okay? The last part of this video is the part where I kind of let you guys in on some tea, okay? I am going to share with you my favorite vendors that I love working with. But before I do that, make sure that you comment down below what is one thing you've learned from this video so far, and let me know if I'm doing a good job or not, okay? And tell me what other kind of vendor videos you want to see. All right, let's talk about it. So I am going to share with you a couple of sites that I love to work with. The first one is actually a Fashion Nova vendor as well, okay? So if you love Fashion Nova jeans, this particular vendor offers jeans basically that Fashion Nova has, okay? And their name is Aphrodite Jeans. And I'm gonna put the name here on the screen so that you can take a screenshot or remember it. Aphrodite Jeans. The other vendor that I love working with is a bags and accessories vendor. They also sell shoes. They have a bunch of different lines of products, but they are Joya. So it's Joia. They offer bags and accessories that are bomb.com. Like, I love them. So check that out if you're interested in bags and accessories. And like I said, they sell shoes as well, so you can look that up as well, okay? Another vendor that I love for clothing, they are Miss California, okay? It's my particular type of style that I love. Obviously, everyone has a different style, so you may not like this vendor, but I absolutely love Miss California. You can find Miss California on fashiongo.net, okay? So those are my favorite vendors that I love working with. I shared with you my tips for working with vendors, and I shared with you the terms that you need to know before even working with any vendors, okay? So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and comment below some videos that you want to see in the future. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and enter the giveaway, because I am giving away a Dymo 4XL printer, which is going to save you about $300. Like, why not get it for free? Enter the giveaway by opening up the description box and clicking the link that says enter the giveaway and following those instructions. If you're interested in how to find vendors, check out the 2 videos where I taught you how to find vendors for a boutique and how to find vendors for your skincare and cosmetics business. I am going to put those videos up on the end screen, so make sure that you check it out. Follow me on Instagram if you aren't following me already, at The Brand Hustler. And if you want to follow my personal Instagram, you can follow me at I am Chanel Q. Other than that, I'm about to be out of here, hustle babes. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.